So I've never really described in detail kind of how I came into the fandom and how my views on it have been since I started at like 16 all the way to now, 4 years later. Like a lot of the stuff that's happened has been really positive, and I kind of want to talk about how great this fandom has been and how much it helps people come out of their shell, open up, feel positive and good about themselves. So, I guess I'm going to start a bit from the beginning. Some of this may be a little repetitive at the start, but it's good to get it all down in one place. So, discovering the fandom started when I was 12, I think, sometime around 6th grade. I was doing some volunteer work and I stumbled upon a world record book that showed a bunch of fursuits, and it was like the most animal enthusiasts gathering in one place kind of thing. And it was for Anthrocon. But I saw those fursuits and I could not look away. Like something about them was the coolest, most amazing thing I ever saw. And then I kind of forgot about it. 2 years until suddenly I remembered about it, looked it up, and then tried to get involved again at the start of 8th grade. And from there, I slowly got online with it. Like I didn't exactly know where to go at the start. I found by some chance a podcast called Furcast, and that was kind of how I learned about where furries were. I found out about Fur Affinity, Furry Twitter, places like that. I found where everybody was. And I started making friends. And this was really me for 3 years. Up until I was able to drive and then started discovering the furries in my local area. And by then I had quite a few friends all around. And now it's great because I get to visit them, but back then I was super anxious. I didn't know anybody. I didn't even have a fursuit. And when I was 16, going on to 17 and finally able to drive, I went to my first meet. Milwaukee was still hosting one of its original bowling meets back then, and I was so nervous I had to have a non-furry friend come with me because I felt I would be too awkward going alone. Well, she agreed to come, and overall it was a pretty good time. I was a bit shy and quiet, but I still felt like I was beginning to meet people and socialize in the fandom in real life. So the next time I was able to go by myself and started meeting people who I've actually talked to before and kind of start socializing and networking. And it was then when I decided to build a fursuit. Now, this Shadow is version 2, but there was a version 1, and he still is around here somewhere. I might pull him out for a future video, but for a first attempt, he was pretty good. I didn't do any sewing on him or anything. It was kind of all glued to the face really strategically. But I was pretty happy with him, and I was super happy. I was becoming more extroverted just because I was in fursuit, and I started feeling better about myself. And that's when I started realizing how great the fandom can be by making me feel more outgoing and better about myself. And it transferred into the real world too, not just in the furry fandom. By senior year, I went from being like a shy kid to a pretty extroverted person with a very large group of friends. My self-confidence went way up. Everybody thought I was a lot better of a person. I was a lot nicer. I put myself out there more to be helpful and friendly. It all ended up helping out in every aspect of my life. And it only went on more and more as I found more people around in the fandom and kind of made myself feel at home in this community. By then, I started going to the Madison meets as well, where I've met most of the Wisconsin furries and become friends with quite a lot of them. And it's really an amazing experience. By then, I had started going to cons. I went to my first one my senior year, and then after I graduated, I went to another one with Scarlett, and then from then on, I would go to most of them with her. And that went on for pretty much a year, just going to cons, socializing, making new friends. And then I decided to retire Old Shadow And then at that point, I moved in with my now fiance Scarlett, and we decided to build version 2. And after that was done, I was ecstatic. Like, this suit turned out amazing. And it's pretty great that the advancements that went from that suit to this suit could be made. And that only made me more excited and more happy to suit around, make people smile, do all these kinds of fun things. And from then on, I've just been going to cons, doing this, having fun, making everybody smile for the last year. Started doing YouTube to try to expand my horizons and make more fun content because I felt like I wasn't doing enough in this fandom since I don't make fursuits too often and I'm not exactly an artist. And I wanted to give back somehow. So they kind of turned morphed into two things, doing YouTube and volunteering for conventions. Now, one of them isn't exactly a convention, it's the Wilderness Campout that Wisconsin Furs hosts. I help with events coordination and making sure everybody has a good time. And now I'm also the Fursuit Games coordinator for Aquatifer, which Aquatifer is coming up. It is in January, so look into that if you ever want to go to a FurryCon hosted at a water park in one of the world's largest water park resorts, the Chula Vista. Definitely something you should go to. But I've felt very welcomed in this fandom. I've never really had too many negative experiences. Sure, we've all had you've met some Nazi furs and it's kind of weird and creepy, but just ignore them. They're all right. That's the easiest thing to do, and it worked out really well. You'd be surprised how tiny and insignificant they are compared to all the nice, friendly people who want to be great friends with everybody in the fandom. And this fandom has been really nothing but positivity. I've never really been like made fun of or talked down on. It's really one of the nicest fandoms ever. And it's really helped me as a person. It's boosted my self-confidence up so much that I've been able to apply for jobs I've always wanted and thought I'd never get and got into them. That's why I'm a firefighter now, is because people encouraged me to do things like that. And it really, really helps. It makes you feel amazing, the positivity this fandom can hold. And I really think it changed around my life for the better. If I never found this fandom, I'd probably still be sitting in my parents' house playing video games and working like a dead-end job that I didn't really like with no real plans for the future. So you'd be surprised how much being friendly to someone, complimenting them, encouraging what they want can change them for the better. And really that's what most of my story was, is people like you encouraging each other, helping each other out, making them feel good about themselves. Keep doing that. It helps so much. And it always will. That's why you should never try to be mean to people on purpose or for any reason unless they really deserve it. But I'm not going to get into why they deserve it or anything. Just always try to be friendly, be happy. Do things the way you'd want them to be done to you. And really, it only helps. And it makes everybody feel great. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.